You've heard previously that a lot of people contributed to the blockhouse being removed, restored, rehabilitated, and it's now going to be used for a very worthwhile purpose to educate the scouts and people about the area, 1750 to 1820, when these type blockhouses were used at this general Upper Delaware area. This could not have been done without a lot of people, and I'd once again like to reintroduce the man that I think was the mover and shaker with which it could not have been done, to present some of the awards that he has for himself. Once again, John Limanovich.
Can everybody hear me? Yeah. Okay. No, unless you can't hear me. How do you like the hat? Huh? Thank you. I look like a giant thumbtack. Somebody says, we could have used you to plug up the BP oil leak. I'm not exactly sure I understand that. Well, we're gathered today at a very momentous part of scouting. We're looking back on 100 years of a time-tested educational program for boys developing character and leadership. And the whole thing with scouting is tradition and moving forward. Today we have both. We have a tradition in the blockhouse, and we're moving forward as we take on the next 100 years. We were very, very fortunate to get a committee together to make this whole thing happen. And this committee began with Director of Camping, Bob Madsen, who gave the okay to move the blockhouse. So with Bob's blessing, we started putting together the plans to move it. Unbeknownst to us, the blockhouse weighs 16 tons. And what do you get? Another day older, and we have no debt. We moved the blockhouse under construction budget on time. A remarkable thing. When we started the blockhouse, we had a number of volunteers, a small group of volunteers, that each one had an expertise. And each volunteer is an alpha male. So everybody is like that. So when you have alpha males lined up under you, you give them the courtesy of listening to what they say. And all these men said the right thing. And because of that, we put together the program to move the blockhouse. I wanted to recognize the committee members. Now we have three guys not here today. Jake Pontillo, Hal Rosenfeld, and Bob Chazano. Jake is down in Kiowa. Jake is probably the nation's leading expert in scout skills. Scout skills, pioneering. When you go to Kiowa later on, you'll enjoy what he's put together. Phenomenal. Hal Rosenfeld, civil engineer. Anytime we had a problem with engineering specs, Hal, who I deem as the sharpest knife in the drawer, gave us the expertise to make things happen. And then Bob Chazano. Bob is our master builder. You can't get a better man than Bob Chazano. And working with Bob, because Bob engineered the cement slab. Now, to anyone who sees it, it's no big deal. But when you design it to hold that weight, and when you put it together, it's a pretty big deal. And working with Bob, we have two guys, experts. We had Joe and George, who over a 3-day period, we laid that foundation down, and we got it together. Then we have Frank Mullane, who you already heard from. Frank is our inside guy. He handled most of the administrative work. And we have Mike Herbert, who you've seen up here a couple of times, as you've seen me, fortunately. Mike is a very special guy. I just want to make a mention about Mike. Mike never takes off his boots. Mike is always running at the line. He's always pushing the project forward. He's done carpentry, cement, he's put in thermal couplers, he does everything. Just a great guy to work. Then we have Bob Herman. Bob's not here today, is he? No? Okay. Bob helped us, and he's on the committee. I wish he was here today. But I do want to turn my eyes to somebody else. The Ranger staff
is a very unique staff in camp. These are the men behind the scenes. These are the guys who make sure the toilets flush, the roads are clear, that everything is safe in camp. And if it wasn't for that, we wouldn't have a camp. This particular camp has a very good senior ranger. Now, just because of my age, I've worked with Ken Crandall. Ken was the keeper of the flame. He ran the camp almost 30 years. I worked with Greg Gregson. He built New Camp Act 100. I worked with Ed Gettle. Ed Gettle was on staff for 30-some-odd years, retired as property superintendent. Everyone has a story about Ed Gettle, usually bailing you out. This man fits that mold. This man steps up, he does it quickly, firmly, and he's out of it. And because of that, we're able to dig a 4-foot hole, fill it up with gravel, pour cement, and then if you saw the pictures over here, we turned that blockhouse into a modular home. We took the top half off, we took the bottom half separate. Then we moved it down here. This was done by, we'll see in a minute, but it was because of that, his expertise with heavy equipment. And when you see that PL 450 that we have, plus the excavators that it's just amazing what he can do. So I'm going to call up here my oldest son of a different last name, Jim Lofels. Come on up here, Jim. This is the guy who made this whole thing happen. He backed me, he backed the committee anytime he needed something. It's just an amazing feat on how we did it. So for you, Jim, money? Yes, that's why you have these envelopes. I'm going to present to you and to raise your hand. We have gift certificates to Burger King, and you can get one Burger King cheese on the water, but that will take care of the fun stuff. And then also, this is just what he wants. We're going to give him a patch as for all three guys for helping us along. But your support and your help was paramount to getting this. And now let me also say, come close. Now we have another project coming up. Jimmy. You think I'm doing this for... We have been ordained and christened to move a cabin from Old Camp Kentucky, if you're post-1956, or pre-56, Cayuga. It's the last standing 8-boy cabin. It's up in the woods. We're clearing it right away, 24 feet, so we can lift this old cabin and bring it down. You guys know Kentucky, you know the hill by Chappie. Bring it down and then set it up for next year. This will make a smashing exhibit for the museum. Not only in smashing. Don't get angry. In getting it down here, and then the curating staff, they have devised decade periods that will decorate the bunks in 1940s, 50s, and 60s. So this presents an exciting program. So when you come back next year, we'll have it to select. But in order for us to do that, we need these guys. And already, I think we're going to do it. So Jim, thank you so much. You're a great guy. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Please stop over, have a piece of blockhouse cake. We have some water if you need some water. And enjoy the blockhouse as, thanks to Mikey, we have a second floor up there. And it's kind of neat. Thank you very much.